Jen is a conservation professional with 10 years of experience driving impactful and sustainable outcomes in the field of conservation work. Currently serving as CCIPH Conservation Program Director, Jen has demonstrated expertise in managing and implementing conservation projects from inception to completion. Sorry, Jen. With a focus on biodiversity preservation and ecosystem sustainability, and is well versed in conducting comprehensive assessments and developing strategic conservation plans and leading multidisciplinary teams to achieve project objectives. She didn't want me to read that part. That's why I said okay, so once again, let us welcome Ms. Jen Masita.
Thank you, Aditi. Okay, good morning. So for this morning, kikwento ko po sa inyo yung experience namin on monitoring and assessment of biodiversity, ecosystems, and ecosystem services post-disaster. So in 2021, we were hit by the second costliest typhoon in recent memory, second only to Typhoon Haiyan or Yolanda, and that was Super Typhoon Rai, locally known as Typhoon Odette. So for a lot of us here, I'm sure this is very, very familiar. We've experienced it. Typhoon Odette entered the Philippine Area of Responsibility in Siargao Island, Dinagat area, Dinagat Island, and then exited in Palawan. Nagkataon po na yung dalawang areas na yun ay sites namin at that time. So we created the Green Assessment and Recovery Framework, which is a post-disaster assessment framework for non-economic loss and damage. Ang objective po ng framework ay tignan kung gaano halaki yung na-damage in terms of biodiversity, ecosystems, pati na rin po yung mga local communities, yung resources na ginagamit ng communities natin na dependent sa nature. So this framework was developed in partnership with PNR and our local government partners in Palawan. And the Green Assessment Framework has 3 stages. Stage 1 is the rapid appraisal. Yung rapid appraisal is, we call it the triage stage. So we use remote sense data, something that we can do very quickly, so desktop work lang. And then titignan natin yung damage sa vegetation. We call it triage stage kasi ginagamit to para lang maintindihan namin ano ba yung mga areas that would need our priority, ano yung unang areas na kailangan natin tignan at evaluate. Yung second stage ng Green Assessment is the comprehensive appraisal. So from stage 1, which is rapid appraisal, to comprehensive appraisal, this is looking at biodiversity ecosystem at the ground level. So this would involve ground validation surveys. And then all the information from those 2 stages feed into the third stage, which is the green recovery planning, or now we're calling it the ecosystem restoration and resilience planning. Okay. So let me show you the results of the first stage of the Green Assessment and Recovery Framework. So for GARF Stage 1, this is looking at just satellite images. So tinignan lang namin yung before and after vegetation sa site pagkatapos po ng Bagyong Odette. And napansin namin na grabe yung damage natin dito sa area na ito. Just looking at the NDVI, you can see yung difference sa color, yung greenness index niya sa aming hazard footprint. This is in northern to central Palawan area. And we were surprised because for this huge of a damage to happen overnight was really shocking sa amin. And then we said, okay, now we have to validate these areas. Okay. Pero at that time, hindi namin alam kung saan kami magsa-start. Kasi the footprint, that's covering 500,000 hectares of land. And back then, we were just a team of maybe less than 18 people doing the assessment. So, and it's also very difficult to get funding and resources because when we were starting the assessment, that was already 3 months after the typhoon. And everybody is saying, okay na yan. The forest naka-recover na yan kasi green na siya ulit. But we know that we really need to measure the damage dun sa area. So what we did was we launched this multi-stakeholder assessment. We talked to different agencies in Palawan. We talked to DNR, we talked to PCST, we talked to the 3 different local government units, Puerto Princesa City, Rojas, and then San Vicente. Tapos, yung mga protected area offices doon, kinausap din namin and asked them, gusto nyo ba kaming samahan sa crazy na assessment na ito? Akyat tayo ng bundok, tapos tignan natin kung gaano kalaki yung damage ng Typhoon Odette sa atin. Ready ba kayo mag-render ng time with us? And amazingly, they were all willing to join us, so they agreed. So we launched this multi-stakeholder field campaign that ran for about 3 to 4 months. So you can imagine the whole central to northern Palawan, different agencies collaborating and doing assessment at the same time. But we also knew at that time na kailangan namin pag-usapan kung ano yung methodology na gagamitin namin. Ano ba yung mga tools na pwede namin gamitin for the assessment. And then we found out na, so mukhang wala na tayong PowerPoint slides, so magkikwento na lang ako. Okay lang. Okay. So we found out na, okay, meron pala silang mga drones. So they're using drones, but the LGUs and even the local offices there were using drones mostly for tourism purposes, take photos, take videos. So sabi namin, okay, let's use that so that we can do land cover mapping. So we did capacity building activities with them para ma-maximize namin yung gamit ng kanilang drone. Next, we do rapid biodiversity assessment. So we ask for different experts to help us conduct assessments of biodiversity. Look at yung mga trigger species natin, yung mga indicator species natin dun sa area. We engage local communities at yung mga indigenous partners natin sa site, mga katutubo, to help us with the assessment. And then at that time, we said, kailangan natin ng system na mabilis makakuha ng data. And at that time kasi, we were already using EarthRanger in our other projects. So we said, kaya-kaya gamitin natin yung software, EarthRanger, to collect data post-disaster. Binuo namin yung data model, we customized it in partnership, in collaboration with DNR and local communities, so it's in their local language. We trained about more than 100 community members in Palawan to do EarthRanger, and then we go out and collected data. I wasn't part of the assessment team, so I can't really tell the story of how difficult it was to collect data post-disaster. I did prepare the video though, but unfortunately, I don't think we'd be able to watch it because of the technical difficulties sa ating screen. So my role at that time was more of a data manager. Kasi may kailangan maiwan sa office to look at all the data coming in. And these are examples of the data that was collected at that time. It's medyo naka-zoom siya, so you won't be able to appreciate it. But you see data being collected from central Palawan up to the northern Palawan. Those are the red ones. Those are areas where they experience threat, incidents of landslides, incidents of flood. And then you see yung mga areas na may naputol, napuno, cut, or uprooted trees, or even trees that were defoliated. So because we have this data, and ang role ko was to sort of consolidate all the information that I could, habang pumapasok yung data, pinapasa namin sa team namin who can do the mapping. And then we were finally able to produce outputs. Ang na-produce namin outputs was this very detailed land cover map. Can we maybe zoom exit na lang para makita? Okay, I'm sorry for the screen. So this is an example of a Green Assessment Land Cover and Change Map. This is a 94 per, I think it's about 94% accurate, 94% accuracy yung mapa. And it's at 10 meters resolution. And this is possible because we were able to collect ground data with the help of different partners from government agencies to the local community members using different technology and different tools. The map, the land cover change map, was up to the what type of damage and severity ang impact ng Typhoon Odette at the area. We were able to identify which areas were, because yung change was because of the trees were uprooted, which areas underwent defoliation, ano yung mga areas na may open canopy cover, crown cover. So it's not the usual land cover map that we see na may closed forest, open forest. It's up to that detail, pati kung anong klaseng damage yung nakita natin dun sa area. And using the land cover change map, we also produce species distribution models. So we looked at indicator species in Palawan, like Palawan peacock pheasant, may changes ba sa connectivity of their habitats? Palawan hornbill, were their habitats affected by the typhoon? We can go to the next slide, please. So this is an example, Tantikan, Palawan peacock pheasant. So kita natin yung changes niya pre and post on that. We use species distribution model. And then the data that we use as our environmental predictors were the land cover change map that we collected at that time. Okay, next. And then we were also able to collect impacts on ecosystem resource use. So yung mga community members that were using Earth Ranger, they were tagging areas na where rivers have dried up, where they saw something different sa siltation nung ilog nila, damage and loss of almasiga trees, very, very important for our partner indigenous communities in Palawan because that is their livelihood source. Severe damage of areas that used to provide sources of honey, loss of rattan, their croplands and plantations. So they were able to tag all those and we were able to identify the extent of the damage in the site. Now that we have all that information from stage 1 and then stage 2 na validated na, we now started developing our ecosystem restoration and resilience plan, which is stage 3 of GARV. Can you move to the next slide, please? So sa stage 3, again, so it's still the same group of people. We used the information we generated from the assessment and then develop restoration plans and recovery plans dun sa area. We use it to inform our restoration strategies. Which areas do we have to strengthen our enforcement? Areas for protection, areas for assisted natural regeneration, areas for active restoration, at kung ano-ano pang restoration framework that is out there fit dun sa damage ng area na yun. And when we were doing stage 3, so now we have the restoration plan, sabi naman namin, how do we monitor our restoration sites? Yung regenerants natin, yung tumutubong, yung mga sumisibol na halaman, pati na rin yung posibleng damage sa mga areas that are threats na makikita doon. And then we go back to Earth Ranger again. So we use it for this huge assessment ng disaster, and then ginamit din namin siya to monitor restoration and recovery at regeneration capacity in our site. Next slide. So these are just some of the people who we've worked with. Next slide. And this is what it looks like. Can you see the difference? Kanina, kita natin, puro putol yung puno. And then there are lots of parang ugly red icons. And now, we are seeing this in our dashboard. They're now collecting data and they're collecting data about recovery in central and northern Palawan. And this data is collected by 3 partners. So we have The four pala. We have the Puerto Princesa Subterranean River National Park, the Puerto Princesa City, Rojas, Municipality of Rojas, and San Vicente. All of them collecting information and then uploading it dito sa ating dashboard. So ngayon, nasa road to recovery na tayo in Palawan. Next slide. Key takeaways from this experience, measure what matters and turn evidence into action, ground data in local knowledge. I think this was really huge for us because when starting an assessment of that magnitude, covering like 400,000 hectares of ecosystems yung kailangan mong i-monitor, then you really have to partner with local communities on the ground and customize it sa mga data na relevant din para sa kanila. Kasi affected din yung traditional use nila at cultural values. Their sacred grounds, where burial grounds, they were all affected by the typhoon. And those were also recorded here sa system. Build connected systems, and then strong government ownerships enable scaling. So because of that Green Assessment and Recovery Framework, very, very happy with DNR who took up the framework. At ngayon, there's a draft. Next slide, please. Draft Department Administrative Order that's being developed. Now we want GARF to be our department's LOS L&D, non-economics L&D framework. So gagamitin siya to assess post-disaster damage and scale, expand to high-exposure NAP sites, build capacity in other areas in the Philippines. Tapos isa sa pinaka-need din gawin is yung interoperability. Because now we're seeing this new framework that I think would be a new system in the next 2 years. That's also something that we need to talk about with other bureaus here, like maybe BMB and FMB, like how Lawin relates to the ECO-DRR command center that we're planning to pilot under the ECO-DRR project, which is supported by the Government of Canada, and how we can build that domain awareness. So thank you for listening sa presentation. I'm sorry for the mix-ups tech. Thank you.